So first, let's say the first step. Yes. This is okay. So first, the client will send a hello message to the servers. And in these hello messages, the client will include the cyber suite configurations. For example, for the client, for this machine, which algorithms, which encryption algorithms this client can support, okay? And then in the server side, when the server receives these hello machines, it will set the encryption algorithm according to the hello messages. And then it will transfer a hello down message to the server. And this is the hello stage. And besides, in the hello stage, the point is that the client here not only sends the hello message to the server, it will generate a random number. We can just call it R1 here and transfer this R1 to the server. And besides, in the server side, also generates a random number. We can call it R2 here and transfer this R2 to the client. And you should remember that all of these hello messages are plain text, which means we will not encrypt these hello messages. And anyone that can eavesdrop these messages can see the original information. So besides, this is a hello message or hello step. And for second step, it's server authentication. For the server authentication, the server will send a certificate to the client. Actually, the hello message will include this certificate, but I just separated it into two messages. Okay? And for the certificate, we include the server's name, valid period, and the public key, and the server's signature. I think we have discussed this previously. So actually, the point is that it will include the public key here. And when the client receives this certificate, this client can actually use this certificate signature to verify the authentication of this server. So we can just so this is the verification here. And after that, we can notice that here the client has R1, which is a random number can generate. And also because the server will send R2 to R1, so also the client will have the information of R2. And besides, this client will also generate a pre-master random set number. So in this case, we can consider that the client will have three numbers, R1, R2, and pre-master. And after this step, the client will generate the second key for the further communications. So how does this client generate the second keys? Actually, you can use the simple hash functions. For the hash functions, the client will input the R1, R2, and the master, and then it can get the hash values, and this hash value will be considered as session keys. Okay, so in this case, after the server authentication part, the client and the server will exchange the keys, the session keys. So how does the server and the client exchange these session keys? Actually, the server, since the client has already know the public key of the servers and also know the keys, it will just simply use the public key here to encrypt the keys and transfer these keys to the server. And after this server receives the encrypted keys, it will use its own private key to do the decryption and derive the original key. here, they will finish the handshake. And after the handshake, they will use this session keys to use further communications. So basically, there are 3 steps. The first step is to send a message and convert the configuration information. And the second one is server authentication. And the second part is exchange for the session keys. So you may ask, why we only authenticate the servers instead of also authentication the client here? Because the client also, yes, this is because sometimes we also need to guarantee the authentication of the client, right? So let's just consider a very example scenarios. For example, if you want to log in the DBS, this bank website, right? So I'm a user and the DBS will provide the server. And when I log in this DBS bank website, actually we want to guarantee that the website we are logged in is the DBS website, right? So in this case, we have to clarify the authentication of the servers. So this makes sense. And you can say that in these scenarios, the DBS website do not care who is visiting their website. So in this case, they do not need the authentication of the clients. But sometimes, in some particular scenarios, the servers need the authentication of the certain clients. Also in this DBS bank scenarios. For example, if I'm a user, I want to log in my own account, right? I have to input my username and the password, right? And in that case, after I input the username and password, the server needs to, the DBS server needs to clarify or guarantee the authentication of the client. And only in that case, the server needs the authentication of the client. So in conclusion, no matter in which scenarios, the authentication of servers must be clarified. But only in some particular scenarios, the identity of the clients must be clarified. Okay. Okay. So this is the basic communications of TLS, and also in TLS we have a concept called re-negotiation. So in this case, let's just consider the same scenario that. So here, the client will have the keys, right? And the client and the server will communicate with each other with these keys, right? So how about if I'm a user, how about when it comes to a scenario that I want to change the key? I want to have another session key to do the encryption, right? In this scenario, we have to re-handshake. We have to reproduce all of this handshake process from scratch, right? But that will take a lot of time. So actually in the TLS, it's just create a concept that allows the user and the servers to do the handshake based on the previous connections. So how does it do it? So let's just consider this as the first handshake. And the first handshake is plan test. And after that, they can communicate with each other with the setting keys, right? We can consider this as the initial traffic. And all of this traffic are encrypted by the setting keys generated in the handshake part, okay? So in that case, there is a concept called negotiation. And in the negotiation, the server and the client can do the handshake based on this, based on previously generated keys, which means that this handshake is also a secret text. And in that case, they can generate a new key. So you can consider the first, in the initial traffic, they will use a key 1 to do the encryption. And in the second traffic, they will use a key 2 to do the encryption with they communicate with each other. So actually, this is the concept of the TLS renegotiation. Okay. So after we get the concept of this Q, we can say the TLS renegotiation attack. Actually, this attack is implemented or proposed at 2009. Actually, you can find this in the CVE database, and it's proposed by Google. Okay, so how do we implement or how do we design this attack or how that this attack works? So first, as we record that, if I'm an attacker, okay, and I can handshake with the server, right? And after I handshake with the server, we can have further initial traffic. And you can say that for the initial traffic, all of the data are encrypted by the session keys generated in the handshake, right? And we can communicate with each other a lot of times, and there is no limit. Okay? So after attacker knows that there exists one client, and this client want to communicate with this server. And when this attacker knows that, he can be the man in the middle. First, what they do is that what does this attacker do is first it will hijack the connections between the client and the server. Here, when the client wants to send out the handshake message, the attacker will receive this, and then it will send this handshake message to the server based on the encrypted keys he generated with the handshake previously. So in this case, for the server, in the server side, the server will consider that this handshake is a re-initialization handshake, right? They just want to change the session keys. So it will not consider this as the first handshake. It will consider this as the second handshake. And this user is using the re-initialization protocol. Okay? And after that, the server will generate a key, the session keys, and then the client can use these session keys to do the further communications. And here we can consider that in the initial traffic, there is a session key, key 1, and for the second traffic, the client traffic, there is a session key, key 2 here. Okay? And the attack is that, because here we have the initial traffic, right? And here we have the client traffic. The attack is that the integrity is compromised because the server will consider all of the initial traffic also belongs to the client. Okay, but actually this initial traffic belongs to the attacker, but the attacker will mistake the server to be that this initial traffic belongs to the client. Okay, so actually in this case, can client or can attacker knows this Q2? Can or cannot? Okay, the answer is that the attacker actually cannot, because here we can say that the session key is actually generated here, and in this session key, it will include the random number generated by the client, right? And the premaster generated by the client. So even attacker can eavesdrop all the messages between the client and the server. Since this attacker does not have the access to the random number, it does not have the access to the session keys. Okay, so in this case, the confidentiality is guaranteed, it's not compromised, but the integrity and the authentication is compromised. So, any question about this part? So the first question is what's the role of the server's public key and private key? Of course, they are used to do the server authentication. Because when server send a certificate to the client, a client can actually use this certificate and public key to authenticate the servers. And there is no involvement of the client's public key and the private key in the authentication process. Why? Because we have discussed that sometimes we do not need to authenticate the client because it's not necessary. So we do not need the client's public key and private key. But sometimes we discuss that the server actually needs the client's public key and the private key because in some particular scenarios, the server needs to authenticate the clients. Okay, so for the second question, how the attacker and the client get to know the server's public key? Actually, in the second step, for the second communication message, the server actually will send the certificate to the client, and this certificate will include the public key. So actually, the client can know the public key from this certificate. Okay, so the second question is, does the attacker knows K2? Actually, we have discussed this. The attacker does not have the access to a K2 because the K2 is generated in the client side with the random numbers generated by the client, right? And since the attacker do not have the access to these random numbers, or yes, and then he does not have the access to the K2. And besides, so in this case, why does the server can access the session key? That's because the server has a private key, right? And when the client uses public key to encrypt the session key and transfer this encrypted session key to servers, server can actually use this server can actually use its own private key to do the decryption and derive the session key, right? And because here the attacker do not have access to the random number, and also it does not have access to the private key, so the attacker cannot know the K2 here. So which key is used to encrypt the initial traffic? Of course, the key 1 is used to do the initial traffic because and the key 1 is generated by the handshake between the attacker and the server. So the fifth question is, the second handshake is partially encrypted. Which key is used to encrypt the second handshake? And this is a renegotiation protocol, which means this new handshake, the second handshake, is based on the previously session keys. So the session key 1 is used to do the encryption. So any questions until now? Because you are quite quiet. Okay. So next question is which key is used to encrypt the client traffic? And as we can know here, actually for this client traffic, the key 2 is used to do the encryption. And the key 2 is generated by the handshake between the client and the server. Okay? So, was the confidentiality of the report being compromised under attack? Of course, no. Because the attacker do not have the access or do not have the capability to decrypt all the ciphertext because the attacker do not have the session keys. So the confidentiality will not be compromised. But here, the integrity and the authentication will be compromised because all of the initial traffic will be considered to be sent by the client. And in this case, the integrity will be compromised. Okay? Because the initial traffic is actually sent by the attacker, but the server will consider all of this initial traffic is sent by the client. Okay, so here Bob want to fix this. He want to solve these vulnerabilities. So in the original handshake, we can find that actually in the hello message, the client will send hello, I want to connect this kind of message to the server. And Bob want to have a change here. He want to have a notification that can prevent this kind of exploit. So in the new message, in the new hello message, the Bob want to include the handshake details inside. For example, I want to connect and this is the first or second handshake. So in this case, the server can differentiate whether this is initial handshake or this is a re-negotiation handshake. So in this case, the TLS re-negotiation attack will not work because the attacker actually know which handshake it is. Okay? So does this work? Do you think this work? Just guess. No. No. Yes. No. The answer is no. Does anyone have ideas about why it doesn't work? Yes, it can be easily guessed by the attacker, right? And basically, we can record that this is a man-in-the-middle scenario, right? And all of this hello message are plain text, which means if I'm an attacker, I receive the emails from the client, right? And this client includes the handshake messages inside. I can just easily change it, right? Okay. So if the client sends a message that includes first handshake to the server, and if I'm an attacker, I receive this message. I can just easily change 1 to 2 and mislead the server that this is the second handshake. Actually, the client want to use a re-negotiation protocol. Okay. So in this perspective, it will not work. Okay. So actually, Bob just noticed that because of this man in the middle, it will not work. So how about we just change our directions? We change the messages from the server to the client instead of from the client to the server. So in this case, when server responds the messages to the client, Bob wants those messages to include the handshake information. Also, it wants the client to know that which handshake it is. But it's the same. The hacker can easily change the handshake information because it's also man in the middle attack. Okay? So basically, it's question 8 and question 9 mentioning that how about we change some values or change the hello messages to avoid this vulnerability. But actually it doesn't work because the messages these two questions want to change are all plain text. And since there are man in the middle attacks, the attackers can easily change it. Okay? So that's the basic idea of these two questions. So the 10th question is based on Bob's second attempt, suggest a way to prevent this renegotiation attack. So as we can see previously, the reason that the 8th question and the 9th question doesn't work is that all of the data, all of the information are transferred with the plain text, so attacker can change it, right? So here, the first solution is to encrypt So in this case, the attacker does not know which part is corresponding to the handshake information, and he just does not know how to modify it. Okay? And the second way is to apply the HBAR function to do the integrity protection. Okay? So for example, if I receive a message, I just derive the mark value from it. If you just change the values in the initial information, right? The MAC will not match the information. And in this case, the integrity can be protected. And the client or the server will know that this message is modified by others. Okay? Okay. So the next question is, in the pizza shop application, how does the client get authenticated? Okay. So let's just first forget this pizza application. Let's just consider the DBS part, the DBS website. So when you log in, I'm not sure which bank do you use, but let's just consider we all use the DBS. So in the DBS website, we will know that in the website, if we want to log in our account, we need to input our username, right, and our password, and then you can see all the details, all the transactions in your account, right? And actually, in your next time login, you do not need to input your username and the password again, and that's because we use HTTPS cookies to represent the identity of me. Okay. So which means there are two steps. In the first steps, for the initial identification, we need the password and username to do the verification. And for the further of verifications, we will use HTTP cookies. Okay? And that's why cookie is very important, because that's the identification of ourselves. And there are a lot of website or network tests that is focusing on how to eavesdrop your cookies. Okay. Okay, so before we look into the question 12, let's first see some details of this renegotiation attack. For the renegotiation attack, let's just consider this command is sent in the initial traffic. In this traffic, this command is sent by the attacker. So actually, you want to get a pizza, and this is toppings, and this is address, right? But what does this mean? Why does this attacker include this line in the command? Okay, so this is an ignore message, which means if I input this command in my message, the next command will be automatically ignored. For example, so this is sent in the initial traffic, and in this time, the server will consider this message is sent by the attacker, right? And after the handshake, after the renegotiation, after the renegotiation, the attacker or the server will consider this command is actually sent by the client. Okay? So in the client traffic, the client will actually send this message to the servers. Okay? And because there is a ignore message, the first command will be ignored. And in this case, the command will be get command and cookies. Just like this. Okay? And this is a message that this server will receive. And we can know that actually the server will consider this message is from the client. but it will include the attacker's address. Okay, so in this case, even client order a pizza and maybe pay for it, but the pizza will be sent to the attackers. Okay. Okay. So this question wants us to find some solutions that can prevent these vulnerabilities, this TLS integration attack. So the first way is very buggy, or it's very simple. Just just submit two get commands instead of one, and just easily consider the first get as a dummy one. We do not consider the first get one. So in this case, you will know that you can easily find that because here every get commands will include actually two commands, right? So in this case, the first one, this one, which is sent by attackers, will be automatically ignored. Okay, so in this case, it does work. And for the second one, the get command includes the cookies for service verification. So this means if we find that this message or this command is a cookie, or the cookie is not right, your server will just drop those messages. Okay, so we can find that in the attacker, in this message is sent by the attacker. We can find that in this message there is no cookie, and when server verify this, it will just simply drop it off. Okay, because here the real or genuine messages sent by the client actually includes the cookies. Here it will not be dropped off. Okay, so actually in this case it does work because the attacker do not know your cookies, and all the information without cookies or with wrong cookies will be dropped off. So there is no attack. So the second way is to use MAC, HMAC, to do the integrity protection, just like what we discussed previously. But here we listed three solutions, but none of them are practical. Because actually the TLS attack is emerged or happens not in the application layer. So there are many layers in the network, right? The highest layer is the application, right? Like some HTTPS, like this get command. And the next one is the protocol layer or transparent layer, like TLS or TCP or UDP, right? And the next one is the network, like IP. And then one is data link and physical, right? So actually, this TLS attack this TLS attack happens not in the application layer, right? Because the TLS is between the application layer and the protocol transparent layer, right? So in this case, we should solve this problem in its own layer instead of in the application layer. If we just solve it in the application layer, for further implementations, we will meet the same questions or the same vulnerabilities. Okay, so and that's the reason why it's not the optimal solution to solve the problems. Okay, so the last question is, how about we just disable this TLS renegotiation feature? Of course, it doesn't work because it will affect the availability. And sometimes, let's just consider that if you write a program and this program has multiple functions, right? And sometimes you will find some buffer overflow attack in some functions. You can just simply cut that functions, right? That's not scalable or that's not feasible. What you need to do is to face it. You can't just cut all the functions with bugs or something. And here it's a thing. If you find the vulnerabilities in the TLS renegotiation feature. You cannot just shut it down, right? Because it will affect other users' experience. Okay, so that will be all for today's tutorial. And if you still have some questions, you can ask. By the way, how do you think the midterm exams? Is it hard or easy or just